Right, demo time. So I'm on a Macintosh. Probably you might be in Windows or Linux or whatever. But anyway, more or less it's gonna be the same. Like you have a server. In this case, I'm using the Graph tutorial for this case, and the Graph tutorial it goes on. You install PHP and Apache and stuff like that. And the important thing is that at some point it tells you to create a folder called sites inside your user slash your username, and that's gonna be the document root. And in this case, I have the sites, which is under my username, under users in my boot hard disk. I also have one terminal open. You will see why this is important later on. Right, so what is happening really when you want to install Joomla is that you go to Joomla downloads and you download the full package and you upload it to the server. We're gonna do it a little bit different this time because we want to use Joomla 5 and Joomla 5 is not released yet. So we're gonna go to the developers.joomla.org/nightly builds and we get the full package from there. I will not do it because I already have downloaded this zip. So I will grab the zip and bring it to sites, right? So I have only the zip there, nothing interesting. But before we do an installation, let's do the classic example of how a server works. Right, like if you have an index.html and you type something like h1, I don't know, hello London, right? And you save it and you go to your browser, and your browser you say localhost get hello London, not magic, right? Okay, this is static. We're not interested about static, so let's turn this to a PHP file. Right, and instead of all this, let's have an echo, what's called PHP info, and go back to the server, and you have PHP info. Interesting part with the PHP info is that reveals also the Apache environment, and the important thing here is that we are in a local host. Usually this gonna be your actual domain name, and the document root points to users the grammatical sites as the tutorial from Graph was given, right? Good. Now that we have this, I'm gonna rename it to index2.php so it will not interfere with this. So usually when you upload the zip, you have to unzip it. So you say unzip Joomla, no. So I'm not in the right directory. So I have to go to my sites and saying unzip Joomla. And as you see, the Joomla just uninstalled a lot of directories. Now, all these directories, because they are in the public folder, like the sites, everything is accessible. Like if you want to access, I don't know, come action log this action logs.html, you can actually access it. Nobody tells you no. You can have, of course, some HT access. Where is it? Yeah, some HT access, and you say don't allow this, don't allow that, blah blah. But you see there are a lot of directories, and if you start dealing with rules like allow this, don't allow that, many things will fall apart. So usually what you're doing is you visit, you actually go to the server, and once you go there, you have a graphics user interface where you can do the installation. We will not do it this way. We will use the command line interface, the terminal, right? And to do that, we have to go to the installation folder, right? And here we can use php joomla.php, which it tells us that it has 3 commands: help, install, and list. Obviously, we want the install. And it will start asking things like what's the name of the site, London, what's the super admin, the super secret password, email address. Please don't use my email address. It's invalid. Okay, of course. The database is that, the server, the host of the database is localhost, the username is root, I don't have a password, you should always have a password. And let's name this Joomla London DB. Right, is what's your prefix? Let's have something, not so many. Encryption 0, and then it asks you if you want to use a relative or absolute path for public folder. Now here, if I press enter, it will do nothing, but in this case I'm gonna type London, and as you see in the folders here, after the language, layouts, libraries, media, there's no London. So pressing enter, this thing seems that it works with no database selected or whatever, I don't know what's that. Right, so do we have an installation? Yes and no, the installation still there. So probably there is something wrong with the beta 2, but anyway, let's see if it works, right? So if I go here and remove all the installation stuff, right, we have a Joomla thing. And the interesting part is that we have also a London folder which has few files like robot.txt.dist. This is the classic, you rename this to robot.txt. We have an index.php, which basically is what it serves the public site. As we see, it's extremely small, only 4 lines, very easy lines of code. The images and the media, there are symlinks. There are not actual folders there. They're just pointing to another folder. htaccess, which you'll have to rename it in order to have nice URLs. Defines is a file that has only some definitions, some constants. And for the API, we have just another index with another 4 lines of not so much of code. And in the administrator, we have, of course, another index, again, with similar 4 lines of code. But also we have another file, which is in the com Joomla update named extract. And this is a symlink. It's not an actual file. So we didn't copy things over. So all in all, this is not too much things created, not too many files moving around, right? So, but the thing is that right now we still serve from the sites file folder, not the London. And to prove that, if you go to the localhost slash index2.p, you see that I still access this, I still can access this file. Right. So in order to change which file is the public folder, you have to have access to the configuration of the Apache. And what you do, usually there is a document root and a directory that defines all the things that's interesting there. So if I go here and say slash London and save it, actually nothing will happen. I still have access to the index2.php. And that's normal because we need one more thing. And the other thing that we need is restarting the Apache. So we restarted the Apache. So right now, if I go to index2.php, I get a file not found. And why do I get a file not found? Because the file lies directly under the sites folder, as you see, and it's not under the London. So if I move this folder here and refresh the page, boom, that's it. Basically, yeah, that's it seems extremely simple, and that's how well designed things, I guess, should feel. So if you go to localhost, again, you have the website. If you go slash administrator, you have this. You can access, you can say no, you can say yes, you can say whatever you want. And you can go and, you know, install the sample data or whatever. Just to, and if I press here, boom, that's it. Really, that's it. Thank you.